Thank you, Mr. Sergeant House. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to meeting number
164.
Meeting 164 of Forex Toastmasters Club. Thank you to our guests here today and also to our visiting Toastmasters. We have 3 of them who you can see behind me. This is an opportunity for us to trial online participation in the meeting, and I thank you for coming along. By way of explanation, what we're looking at doing is allowing members of this club to participate via computer. So if you can't get out of the office for whatever reason, we would much rather have you here because the experience is much better face to face. I was once told that if you're proposing to a pretty woman, you might like to do it by a telephone call. That's the best way of doing it. Or face to face is the best way of proposing to a girl. If you can't do that, you can either write a letter, which is the equivalent of putting it in the newspaper, or you can make a phone call, which is the equivalent of doing it via radio. If you propose to a girl on the back of a bus, then you get the result that you deserve, I think is the argument. That's an advertising joke, but the fact remains it is best for you to be here physically if you can. But if you cannot, this will provide us with another option. It will also allow people from outside of Brisbane who wish to join our club to participate in a meeting via online. Hey Larissa, welcome along. Yeah. There are a number of skills that can be learned using the online medium. In fact, for any organisation which has a geographically dispersed workplace, online training is rapidly becoming the go-to method. And so that's why we're hoping that we'll be able to use this to help train as well. But anyway, that's the textplanation of what we're doing today. I'd like to welcome the 3 visiting Toastmasters that we have, and starting from my top left, Kevin James, would you like to introduce yourself, please? 30 seconds.
Thank you, Graham, for the opportunity to participate in today. Welcome, everybody. I'm from Crest Toastmasters Club, Area 26 now. I am their current president, and Graham is a member of my club. We have a small club of 15 people, and this is my first experience in a live Toastmasters Zoom meeting. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. And Ed Mayfield, in my bottom right. You may need to turn your mic on if you haven't done so.
Yeah, I have. My name's Annette Mayfield. I am the Morton Division Director, and it's my second time zooming into a meeting, first before it.
Cool. Welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy the meeting. And Pam Holly, who is in my bottom left, or our bottom left of the screen.
Good afternoon, I guess it is. As you said, I'm Pam Holly. I'm from Redlands Toastmasters Club, and this is also my very first Zoom meeting. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you all for coming along. I'm just to let our online participants know, I will be muting your microphones in a moment, just so that we don't get background noise from you. If you're called upon to speak, and you almost certainly will be, please remember to turn your microphone back on. It's normally in the bottom left of your screen. There will be a little microphone which will be marked as muted. Just unmute that. Okay. We have other guests here today, or actually one other visiting Toastmaster, and that is the Area 5 Director. That is the Director for our club and the other 4 clubs which are in this building. And Jenny Vosper. Welcome, Jenny. Oh, and I should have welcomed all of our guests, our Toastmasters who are joining us online. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I now hand control of the meeting to your Toastmaster for today, Ricardo Bocanegra.
Thank you very much, Graham. Just one word. Our theme today is give it a go. My suggestion to you is try to get as many people involved with this. They don't need to come. As Graham said, all they have to do is log in. And it is something that will benefit the club. It will benefit new members. They will enjoy a meeting as being present. that being said, I would like to call again on Graham Cairns, as he will be taking the role of our president, who is not present yet.
Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of President Mark Snow, welcome here to this meeting. Mark is up to his eyeballs in work, which happens, and in fact was hoping to be here virtually, joining us online. Unfortunately, his director has called a meeting on him and said, no, this is one that you are going to go to. And so he's not joining us yet. He hopes to join us later in the meeting if his meeting ends early enough. These employers who actually expect you to do work for them, I don't know, I don't understand this concept. But yeah, on behalf of Mark, allow me to welcome our visitors, welcome our guest, and welcome all of our Toastmasters here today. I'm actually excited not only about the concept of this online meeting, but I'm really excited because we have 2 icebreakers today. Now, icebreakers are a really important part of the Toastmasters journey. Obviously, it's the first speech that people give, the first formal presentation in many cases. And I am just so excited because I've heard some terrific icebreakers over the last couple of meetings, and I'm expecting to hear another couple of great ones here today. Now, that's no pressure, but seriously, I'm really excited about this. I thank you for coming along. I think it's going to be a great meeting. Ricardo, let's make it so.
Thank you, Graham. Please allow me now to introduce Ellie Dianati, who will actually explain to you what she's going to be doing as the word master.
Our word of the day today is epocho. I hope that I pronounce it correct. I try my best. Epocho. And it was very difficult to find a word for me because sometimes a word is new to me, but it's not new to a 5-year-old English speaker. So I hope, and I think I did a great job because I asked from a couple of people, no one heard about this word. So epochal refers to events or times that are very important because a new change happen involving new development or a big change, like epochal shift, epochal change, epochal scientists, and maybe Icebreaker for Barbara and Mark today is a kind of epochal moment in their lives. And all the best. Please use our word of the day. I'm grammarian as well. I will give you stickers to whoever will use the word of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ellie. Our next speaker is Barbara Douglas, and she is actually going to present an icebreaker, which is one of the most important steps in Toastmasters. Please welcome Barbara.
So I'm going to be evaluating Barbara, so I'll just introduce her speech. So her speech title today is A Real Fairy Tale, and as Ricardo aptly mentioned, it's the icebreaker, so please make it feel awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, fellow members and guests. Modern research has proven what parents have intuitively known all along, that reading and storytelling to young children is instrumental in developing reading, writing, and thinking skills. My parents instilled in me a great love of reading, and now that it is my turn, I've been disappointed to find that many of our favourite fairy tales provide very poor models for romance. Take The Beauty and the Beast for an example. The story starts well enough. Belle is the bookish type who has no interest whatsoever in the town lad. But soon we encounter the tired and disturbing fairy tale theme of an imprisoned damsel who will eventually fall in love with her captor. This is not even close to how love works in the real world. I want my children to know that they are not perfect and neither are other people, and they don't need to be. I want them to approach life with a sense of adventure and ambition. And when their time comes, I want them to know that they will need no locks to find the key to another's heart. This is a real modern fairy tale. Let us meet our leading lady on the cusp of her womanhood, as is the custom in fairy tales. But her parents, shall we call them the king and queen? They make great sacrifices to send her to one of the most highly regarded all-girls school in this fair kingdom of Brisbane. They were more wise than wealthy, but they were very rich indeed when it came to the things in life that matter. The princess knew then that her education was a great privilege, and she intended on continuing it at university. University held many attractions for the princess. There were clubs and societies to join. There were causes to become passionate about. And there were pubs and parties to attend, where she was bound to meet a few boys. And so it was that the princess began her search for a husband in earnest. The princess worked many part-time jobs during these years. She made a lot of new friends. She joined a tennis and a netball team. She hosted and attended many parties. She moved out of the palace into a share house and then moved back into the royal palace. Not having much money, but plenty of time, the princess made a lot of her own clothes during these years, and she developed a love of op shopping, two interests which she continues to enjoy to this day. But I have promised you a fairy tale, which always involves a love story. In truth, the princess's search for a husband got off to a rather slow start. The princess, much like this story, became distracted by other things. You see, the princess had other ambitions and dreams, quite apart from getting hitched. The princess had many friends, and they included boys, but there were only a few boyfriends. The years marched on, and it came to pass that the princess had completed her studies, and she graduated with a double degree in arts and law. It was time for the princess to get a real job and to spread her wings and move out of the palace for good. The princess bought a vintage car and a modest one-bedroom flat in New Farm. The flat was furnished with donations and there was no TV. But the old village twin cinema was just a block away, as were many of the trendiest bars and restaurants in the kingdom. The princess worked long hours, as all young professionals do. And with a little more cash, and always ready to try something new, the princess took art classes, dressmaking classes, Italian language classes. She signed up for a corporate rowing challenge. She ran a half marathon. And one summer, she even took surfing lessons. She was able to enjoy some travel adventures. And there were parties. There were dinner parties, housewarming parties, birthday parties, engagement parties, and weddings. She went to listen to live music. She went to see art exhibitions and film festivals. Really, the princess went to the opening of an envelope. The king and the queen were very proud of their princess. But as the years marched on, they began to worry. After all, the queen was married with 3 children by the time she was the princess's age. Just when the princess was beginning to wonder if she would ever find a man, it happened. Love at first sight? No, I'm afraid that only happens in fairy tales. You cannot fall instantly in love in real life, solely based on a glance. However, the gentleman had the manners of a prince and a king, and that was a good start. As the princess came to know his kind and affectionate nature, and his honest and open approach to life, she began to be convinced that he was the man for her. So they did marry in an epical event. But they did not live happily ever after. They just lived. And sometimes they were happy, but sometimes they were sad. And sometimes they were angry, scared, silly, or thankful, because that's real life. A real fairy tale is a story which has a special or magical quality in which improbable events lead to a happy ending. I hope you've enjoyed my real fairy tale.
Well done. Well done, Mario.
That was indeed epochal. I would like now to introduce our second speaker, Mark Cook, whose speech is Mark 2, and it will be introduced by Rosalind.
Rosalind's not here, so I'll do Mark's evaluation.
Ah, okay. Please welcome Graham Cairns to introduce Mark. Thank you.
The Icebreaker, as we've heard, is one of the most important events in a Toastmasters journey. So important that Mark's doing it twice. The reason for that is that Mark was a member of Toastmasters back in the early 2000s, as I understand it. He drifted away, which often happens, but has rejoined the fold, for which we are grateful, because what that does mean is that today we get to hear about Mark 2. And anybody who can come up with a pun like that for their Icebreaker speech title, I think, is worth applauding. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Cook.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters. I'm Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters online, and yes, as Graham has alluded, I've entitled the speech Mark 2 because this is my second go of the Icebreaker. First Icebreaker was about more than 15 years ago, and life's changed since then. So I've decided to talk about three main aspects of my changed life and representing them in three hats. I've got my family hat as a loving husband and family man. I've got my work hat and the company stuff. And my passion outside my life, family life, is cycling, road cycling to be exact, or the life of a mammal or middle-aged man in Lycra. So I'll start with my family hat. Ethnicity is not foreign in my family, pardon the pun. I was brought up by Spanish and Italian parents who emigrated to Brisbane during the post-European war era around the 1950s. And thanks to them, I'm here in Brisbane. And thanks also to my previous employer when I was working and living in Sydney, several years ago, I met my lovely wife, Nicole. And she also has Chinese and English in background. Anyway, after a couple of years of dating, we got married and we set off for an exotic and quite adventurous holiday to East Africa. And in some ways it was safe, which I'll talk about at our next Toastmasters meeting when I need to make the right speech about something very adventurous. So life changed considerably, or marriage bliss sort of went by with the birth of our two gorgeous children. My eldest is Clarissa, and her age is 6 years old, and she's halfway through her year 1 primary schooling. And then my youngest Vivian is 4 years old, and she's currently in prep and primary school. Prep and kindy, and she'll be in primary school next year. They're the best part of my life. They basically, I'm involved with the school and the kindy, the childcare drop-off and pick-ups. I obviously go out to the parks with them, either cycling or walking with the dog. I basically attend their sporting and dancing events, and I basically spend a lot of time on the weekend jumping up and down the trampoline 100 times. Obviously, you have their moments, the tanties you have, and the sleepless nights, And they're obviously your whole world revolving around them, but they're the best thing I like. And apart from these three beautiful ladies I have in my household, I also have a female Shetland sheepdog named Jai. So to increase the male chromosome factor by 1, I've inherited a ginger cat. And we wouldn't believe the name, Louie. So now to talk about more serious things, my work hat. I work for a medical diagnostic company called Alea, and I basically I'm a senior product manager that looks after a range of infectious disease medical tests. Now, only my wife appreciates what I do because she's in the same industry, but no one in my family knows what I do. So I'm going to try to explain it to you. I work as a sales and marketing professional, selling, promoting medical rapid tests that can be done at the point of care near the patient bedside. And the tests I sell can diagnose something as simple as flu, or something a bit more severe as pneumonia, or something that may tell you you have a virus that's causing you a severe bout of diarrhea in a matter of minutes. I've worked in the industry for over 20 years, and not only in sales, but marketing and technical support. It's been, you know, between the mergers, takeovers and acquisitions, I've really thoroughly enjoyed it. I've met a lot of interesting people, and I've travelled the world. And the interesting people I meet usually is the same people that attend the same scientific meetings year after year, sharing the same anecdotes. But it's been a very enjoyable time. So enough about work. Now to talk about my passion of cycling. I'm wearing a cycling hat, I'm sure there's no cars and bikes. Yeah, so I love the opportunity to basically get up in the morning and you know, feel like nothing is bothering me. I'm just focused on cycling, smelling the fresh cold air, seeing the beautiful sunrise, sort of challenging, trying to get up those hills, and then try and sprint to keep up with the peloton group of riders with me, and then finishing up with a coffee and birch, usually at the end of the ride with my group of my male bonding fellow mammals. Yeah, but just recently, an epical moment in cycling concluded, which was the Tour de France. And the Tour de France has motivates me and inspires me to go riding, because you're looking at these supreme athletes that basically ride up 2,000 to 3,000 metre high mountains, not hills, at a grade of about 9%, and reaching speeds of around 40 k's an hour. Compared to me going up the rolling hills of northern Brisbane, around 27, 30 k's an hour. Despite nearly missing cars, trucks and fellow cyclists, I managed to stay upright and cycle another day. Maybe it helped because I monthly go to church, pray to the Almighty God to make sure I'm safe and sound. So I've basically described my life in a nutshell. But I just hope that you all get a chance to enjoy the moment, especially living life either with your family and friends, or basically hitting your work goals and enjoying the great outdoors. It's Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, Mark. One of the things I can say to you is that in Toastmasters, we normally have to wear multiple hats. So you are most welcome, and I am certain that you will wear them effectively. May I now please call on Larissa to give us the timers report. Larissa, please.
Well, obviously, first and foremost, I am a poor timer because I was late. So the first are off the, they're not there. Wordmaster, 1 minute exactly, well done. Fabulous, fabulous speech about the fairy princess, 6 minutes and 10 seconds. 6 minutes and 10 seconds. And Mark, wonderful introduction to yourself. Thank you so much. 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Yes, slightly over, but all good.
May I now call again on Mr. Graham Cairns to conduct the week's highlights.
Week's highlights.
Please, welcome.
I'll be with you in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just unmuting everybody so that our visiting Toastmasters can also speak. I think you're all there. Yes, you are. Good. Okay. Because we had a fairly busy meeting today, we've decided not to do a table topic session per se, but instead, I'm going to be asking those of you who are not otherwise contributing, or at least not otherwise participating in the meeting, if you can give us the highlights of your week, or the lowlights for that matter. Somewhere around the 30-second mark would be good. And we'll start with Trey. If you can join us down the front, that would be excellent.
Thanks, Graham. I don't have any highlights this week. I've been off work for the last year and a half, just doing my own thing. Finances afforded me these luxuries. And for the last 2 months, I have been trying my hand at share trading, just trading index. And this month is the first continuously profitable month. So the highlight is I think I might have a new job where I can work.
Well done. All right. Annette Mayfield, would you like to tell us about a highlight or lowlight of your week in 30 seconds or thereabouts?
Thank you, Graham. I think the highlight of my week was that is it working?
Yes, you're on. I'm just putting you on.
Lovely. The highlight of my week was that my brother, his wife, and the year and a half baby moved back to Brisbane after spending 3.5 years in Emerald at the mining towns. So I helped them move home yesterday, and definitely the highlight of my week, if not my year.
Cool. Thank you, Annette. Pam Holly, it will be you this time. I'm just going to mute Annette for a moment. And Pam, can you tell us about the highlight of your week?
Thank you, Graham. My week has been a very Toastmaster-centric week, with this being my 4th meeting. But I'd say the highlight was Wednesday night when I was involved in a speechcraft course, and we had 8 icebreakers, 8 very inspirational icebreakers, followed by another 2 today. So it really has been a very inspirational and enjoyable week. Thank you.
Kevin James, can I ask you if you can tell us what you have had as a highlight of your week?
Thank you, Graham. I've had many highlights this week, and again, like Pam, mine is Toastmaster-centric. It was an epochal moment 2 days ago when I spoke to Ricardo, and I, as a Toastmaster Challenge, am very pleased to say that I'm going to MC the Area 26 conference later in October, a challenge I've set for myself some time ago. I thought last year that we had a wonderful MC, and I thought I can never do that. So I'm going to do it, and I said to Ricardo, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you to our visiting Toastmasters who have joined us via online. Jenny, as a visiting Toastmaster, can you tell us about a highlight of your week?
Yes, thank you.
Whatever I am, yes.
Yeah, the highlight, I suppose. I've got to go over here.
If you did, good.
Oh, I see why. Well, there were quite a few highlights. I'm not sure which one to pick, but I suppose a major highlight was going to the club officer training at Taringa, and it was terrific. I'd have to recommend it. It was a bit of an effort because it was a beautiful day, and I didn't really want to be inside, but I was glad I went. I saw Graham there, and I saw Eddie, and I saw Ricardo. I don't think I saw anyone else, but it was most interesting, and especially the Kenmore speakers from Kenmore, who explained why warm-ups are bedtime, and I was so happy to hear that. I've been crusading about that, and I've got to stop now.
All right, thank you. Yes, that's good. Yes. Kate, would you care to join us and tell us about something that's been a highlight of your week? Kate is a visitor, and she's wending her way down. Please don't trip over anything. I know we mentioned that we've got insurance, but we'd rather not use it.
Thank you, Graham. Okay, the highlight of my week was I work for a superannuation company, and this week they held an investment forum where the chief investment officer got up and explained to a room full of members about how the company was going. I was incredibly proud of what he achieved. He had such an eloquent form of presenting and a razor-sharp wit. And just to watch someone of that calibre not only talk about a wonderful job that the company's done, but also connect with the members and be an absolutely fantastic public speaker, it was very inspiring. So it's probably one of the reasons I've come along today to try and go along my journey to assist.
Excellent. And
my name is Ashish.
Ashish, would you care to join us down the front? Yeah. And Ashish, just a highlight for you in the past week.
Oh, yeah. So my name is Ashish Vashisht. I'm from India, and it's been 18 days here in Australia.
Yeah.
So I was part of Toastmasters International there in India. So when I came to know that it's happening here in Brisbane as well, so I was very keen. Somehow I got lost here in trains, but I reached there. Yes, reached there. Though the kind of struggle started from the day one, but the highlight of the week, as we all are discussing that highlight, yesterday I could sign my lease because I was I had really hard time, finding rented accommodation and all. I got there in Toomba. I'll be moving to Toomba. I was supposed to stay there, but I had word with Anthony. I came to know that meeting is happening tomorrow. So I came for this meeting. And so as far as my experience is concerned, I was part of customer service. It's been 10 years of experience. And on family side, I'm married, having kid of 2.5. Small, I'm safe. All right, and I'm looking forward for my life here in Australia.
Well, welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, is there anybody who's not on the agenda, who's not doing anything? We're not going. No, you've got the evaluation. All right, and Abby's general value. I don't think that we've actually seen Larissa say very much today, and I think that we should invite Larissa to join us. Don't worry about timing for yourself. Somewhere around 30 seconds on a highlight of the week.
No worries. Actually, I do have a highlight of the week that relates to Toastmaster as well. I was having, for whatever reason, a period of time I was getting very nervous with public speaking. I gave a presentation this week. I killed it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we all have little victories. Did I ask you, Craig? Yes. Yes, I did. Good. Of course I did. You were first, and you said that you had a month in the black. Now, I want to talk to you about that. No, seriously. We all have little victories in life. We all have experiences that we'd like to share with everybody. I thank you for the opportunity to hear your highlights this week. Mr. Toastmaster, I yield control to you again.
Now, one of the important things in Toastmasters is the evaluation component. This is something that produces the feedback that most of our members require in order to progressively improve. And in this occasion, I would like to welcome Grant Hinds to evaluate our first
Icebreaker.
Yeah, that's right. Mark.
Grant. Yes. No.
Thank you, Ricardo. So, stop saying so. Earlier today, we heard a fantastic icebreaker from Barbara entitled A Real Fairy Tale. And we learned fairly quickly what the term real came to mean, which is there was no hyperbole. I just want to raise with everyone that I think there is a tendency at the moment in society, I don't want to blame Gen Y, but it is a little bit their problem, of actually using a lot of hyperbole in speech. It's something that it really grinds my gears when I'm at work. And everything that you talk to somebody about is just amazing and epic and the best thing ever. And after a while, it starts to get so glossy that everything that's said to you loses all meaning whatsoever. I loved the speech at the start that we were told very early on that it was realistic, which anyone who's lived life knows that there's good parts and there's bad parts. There's no such thing as a completely glossy life where everything is just absolutely amazing. So straight off the bat, I found it incredibly relatable. I knew straight away that this was something that I was actually going to be able to get very into and agree with right off the get-go. So obviously I love the theme. As I mentioned, making it really relatable and engaging with no hyperbole. The other thing that I thought was quite incredible was that through the use of the tale itself, Barbara managed to keep her icebreaker at an arm's length. So if you notice, she never actually mentioned necessarily, I don't think you mentioned, that it was about her. It was always about a princess, which as a narrative tool was quite effective, I thought, because it always sort of kept the personal part of it at an arm's length. And that made you sort of not 100% certain what she was talking about, but she gave you just enough that you were able to fill in the gaps, which I thought made it even more engaging again. So well done there. Some points for improvement. The one thing I thought was that the palm cards, which being a first speech is fair enough, but holding them down like this, it sort of made the body language a little bit closed off. It's something that people pick up over time, that you sort of open yourself up on stage, and eventually, just through experience, people will gain those tools. Beyond that, I thought that the eye contact was very good. The only point I could give was that it started to get a little bit formulaic, and I did this all the time, going left to right, that it probably could have been broken up and flowing with the rhythm of the speeches a little bit more, being that the rhythm of the speech was so fantastic. The other issue I thought was solved, the only other minor issue, was the voice followed the left to right a little bit, that there was a little bit of up and down that flowed with the body language. That being said, that's probably a very good thing, purely because your voice and your body are working in sync. So obviously, if you can get control of both of those things, I think that there's some really good public speaking to come. The final thing I'd like to say was that I love that she brought the speech full circle. So by the end, she promised us a fairy tale, but a real fairy tale, and she finished it off really, really well. So the thread went full circle and reconnected to the beginning at the end. So for an icebreaker, I thought it was an exceptional effort, and I'd like to say well done to Barbara. Thank you.
Okay, let's keep on moving. The next evaluator is Rosalind. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Again, Graham Cairns, who will evaluate Mark's speech.
Thank you. Thank you, Ricardo. I'm sorry if it's seeming a little like the Graham Cairns show today, but that's how you get it. I mentioned before that Mark had given an evaluation before, but that it was some years ago. An icebreaker, sorry, some years ago. I would say this about the Toastmasters experience. It's a little like riding a bicycle. If you don't do it for a while, you get very wobbly and sometimes you fall off, but you don't actually forget the skills. And I think that Mark showed us today that that muscle memory is coming back. He had a lovely sense of humour. He had a warm and friendly style. I think everybody felt that they were beginning to know and to like Mark. We got to know about his passions, his history, his career, his family, his cycling, and the use of the hats as a way of bringing that together, I thought was a really good example of using your head, if you'll excuse the really bad pun. By using those three different hats to tell us about the three different things in his life, we got to follow Mark along. His presentation joined together beautifully. It was, I think, particularly well done. I would like to have seen you perhaps come back to those hats just to round the presentation off. But it's an icebreaker. We're not expecting you to give the Gettysburg Address for your first speech. By the way, the Gettysburg Address is only famous because it only went 20 minutes, whereas the speech that it accompanied went for 2.5 hours and nobody remembers a word of it. There were no notes in evidence. I love the structure. Apart from that conclusion, one thing I would suggest in in terms of diction and clarity is that when Mark is getting nervous and his breathing starts to get constricted, and this happens to a lot of us, he speeds up. The nature of the human body is that when you are nervous, when your heartbeat increases because you are stressed, everything about you gets faster, including your speech patterns, your breathing, and everything else. If you find yourself at that position, do a yoga thing. Just stop, breathe, start again. Mark's speech a couple of times was just a little fast, and that made it difficult to clearly grasp everything that he was saying, only once or twice during the 6 minutes. Having said that, I think it was an exemplary icebreaker. I am so honoured, as are we all, I think, to see Mark 2 coming at us at Mac 2. Mr. Toastmaster.
Okay, now I would like to call on Ellie to actually present her report as a grammarian. Please welcome Ellie.
Oh, good. So, what a day it was today. I know I'm not an evaluator, so I'm not supposed to say this thing, but it was great icebreakers. Can we have more of these? Can we have 2 icebreakers? It was really good. So, I learned a couple of, I have a couple of notes for myself that I picked up and I learned from you, Barbara. One of them was bookish type. Probably it was only me that's never heard that before, but it was really good. And I can tell that you are a bookish type with the creativity you had with mapping your life in a story of a fairy tale story. And when you use the rich when it comes to choosing important things, if I'm not wrong. And getting hedge was another thing that I learned from you. That was really interesting. You're an accomplished woman. I really enjoyed that. And we had, thank you so much. We had about five people used the Epochol, which was a very difficult word to use, but thank you so much. It's, I don't think that I will forget Epochol. And what one of them was the Epochol event when Mark did the Tour de France. Epochol moment when one of our guests talked with or met with Ricardo. And I just wanted to very briefly, it's not in a, if I have still time, Larissa. No? Okay. Yes, so last week we lost a big an epochal scientist. She was an Iranian scientist who died at the age of 40. And the reason that I chose this word was probably because I was trying to find a word to explain her. She did a groundbreaking job with geometry. It was very theoretical mathematics, but it was one of the, because it was groundbreaking to help physics to explain how the world started. So it was such a loss for all of us. And I think it's a good example if you have any girl at home, that she's a chemical role model.
Thank you very much, Julie. Now, I would like to call on Larissa to present her second timer's report. Larissa.
Okay, in terms of evaluator 1, 3 minutes and 15 seconds, that's great. Evaluator 2, 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Grammarian a little bit over at 2 minutes 20, but with such a speech or discussion about the scientists who can, that's fine. Yeah. no problems at all. So thank you very much. I think we've really kept to time this meeting. It's been great.
Now I would like to call on our general evaluator. This is a lady you have to listen to carefully because all her evaluations are really an educational exercise. Please welcome Andy Strickland.
I don't know how to live up to it. Maybe I will. So we had a great meeting because it started on time, and that was why we were able to continue on time. We all tried to be quick and within time in each of our segments, and I was very appreciative of that as the general evaluator. So a general evaluator evaluates those people who are not evaluated by anybody else. So I don't evaluate the speeches, so I did enjoy them, that's true. Graham started early, half an hour early, in order to get this whole setup ready and we could have everybody here. I think that's brilliant. Thank you, Graham. I also enjoyed the explanation of the Zoom technology. He had that in quite quickly, quite pat. I don't know if we all understood it, but we all know that we just have to get on and load on, we can do it. I enjoyed too that Ricardo moved quickly on to introducing everybody. He wasn't holding up the meeting with all sorts of explanations of anything and making himself the mainstay of the meeting. He was simply here to introduce and move on. I loved epical. What a lovely word. Epochal, I used to think, but epical is the way it is, I think. As you had the explanation up there and the description over here, it's a great word. And there have been 2 deaths recently. There was the Iranian lady whose name I can't remember. Can you know? Maya. And also the singer here, Dr. G.
Yes,
Pungu. Can't remember exactly that either. But what a beautiful voice. And the thing about the 2 of them is they're taken so young. Let's do something about that. Better health for the whole world. Grant on Barbara's real fairy tale. No hyperbole. He was so encouraging and so positive. Something he could really get into and he knew he was going to enjoy it straight away. I love that. He was giving back to the speaker the enthusiasm that he got from her. He also gave her examples of things that could have been done a bit better, such as the cards and such as the movement. So to impress it on other people, to get that movement out there, to give some more expansive gestures, something that might mean something more, whatever. Get that movement there. And when you do that, you have to put the cards away because you can't move with the cards. Another way of doing it is write it on your hand. I used to get away with that for quite a long time. I'd write the opening, middle 3 segments, and the close. And I could wave my hands about and have a quick look. It only fits 1 sentence, but often that's enough. I loved also his finish. He said, an exceptional effort, and it was. It was a beautifully structured speech. So that structure was exceptional for an icebreaker. Graham on Mark 2. He carried through with Mark's enthusiasm and energy and humour. Mark 2. A great pause in demonstrating to Mark how to take a breath. Now, isn't that great? We need to sometimes just take a pause, think of what we're going to say it, and give ourselves time. That time will eventually hit the bell and we'll be able to say, yes, that was the pause I needed. Ali completed her grammarian's report beautifully, gave us lots of bits and pieces, filled it in, and Larissa gave us the timekeepers report. Now, you both did it very efficiently and very clearly. There was nobody who could not hear you. I believe at the back there, Ashish, you could hear? Yeah. So I think all in all, we're making good use of the acoustics in this room, and we're also making good use of this time. Mr. Toastmaster, back to you.
Well, what can I say? I really enjoyed the meeting. It was indeed an epical provocation, and I would like you to bear in mind that our theme was give it a go. Let's give this a go. Toastmasters is changing. We must adapt. Let's give it a go. May I now call on Graham Kearns to close the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, Ricardo. Ladies and gentlemen, your Toastmaster for the day, Ricardo Boccanegra. Well done, Ricardo. Thank you for that. Again, on behalf of President Mark Snow, I'd like to thank you for coming along today. I'd like you to thank our members who've joined us, or our Toastmasters who have joined us as virtual members as well. I'll see if you would like to have a brief comment on how you found the meeting. Annette, first up you. How did you find it?
I loved the meeting. I generally love the 1 hour meetings. It's great to see how much you can cram into a 1 hour slot. Thanks for having me.
No problems. Thank you for coming along. Pam, how did you find today's meeting?
Likewise, I very much enjoyed it. I think possibly there are some things we need to tune up for the online presence. I found people standing to your left were hiding behind the pictures of us, so we couldn't see them. I didn't see a couple of them at all. So there are some things that would need to be tweaked. But overall, I really enjoyed the vibe of the meeting, so thank you.
Excellent. And Kevin?
Thank you, and excellent to see those two icebreakers and the extremely positive evaluation. I'll echo what Pam said. I've enjoyed the meeting, and my highlights for enunciation, I'm excluding you, Graham, you're a radio host, was Adi. I could hear her perfectly. She was throwing her voice fantastically to me. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Jenny, as a visiting Toastmaster, any observations you care to make? Thank you. Kate, how did you find the meeting?
It was wonderful. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm very impressed.
We'd love to see you back. Avish, you're moving to Toowoomba, so we probably won't see you coming back all that often, but you're welcome if you do. Any observations?
Well, I enjoyed these 30 minutes. I'm regretting why I lost my first 30 minutes.
Life.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Cool. Great.
I've been coming for a while. Thank you very much for having me again.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
We'd love to give you a Form 400, but we know how it goes. On the subject of Form 400, can I ask if Adi and Barbara can leave the room for 30 seconds, please? There's a reason why I'm asking them to leave. Now that we actually have a quorum present, ladies and gentlemen, members of Forex Toastmasters, we have two new members, one of whom has already given her icebreaker, and the other of whom was the club coach for the last 8 months or thereabouts. Both have requested membership of this club. Can I have a show of hands, those in favour of accepting first Barbara as a member? Against? And those who accept Adi as a member? And against? In that case, can you invite them back in, please, Jenny? All right. So, oh, be quiet. That must mean it's 1 o'clock if that alarm is going off, which means we are out of time, but well done. Barbara and Adi, welcome to Forex Toastmasters Club. We know that your experience is going to be our experience, and we will all grow together. Thank you for joining. I will do an induction for both of you at our next meeting. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it is 1 o'clock. I have to say thank you. Thank you for coming along. Our next official meeting is on the 11th of August in this room. There will, I believe, be a meeting the week after that at GBST, but I'll send out details on that. Thank you for coming along. Look forward to seeing you all here on the 11th of August. Thank you.